Yeah, let's base coat some of the horns over here. We don't have to do all of it, but just a little bit. I wrote down that I want to use some skeleton bone for the base coat. I didn't spray it this time. I did use an airbrush for the base coat, yes. Well, mostly for the primer, and then a little bit for the base coat too. I did like a little quick pass over with that's light purpley thing that you see, or that light yellowy thing that you see all over. What mix did I use for the glazing? It was some Lamian medium, about 1-to-1 with Reichland Fleshshade, which is like a I don't know, there's like a reddish shade. I'm thinking about maybe doing another layer of that at some point, we'll see. And then I did a similar mix for Battle Mud Wash, which is like a brown wash. This is like Agrex. People are saying on the internet that it's the better version of Agrex. Do we believe people on the internet? People on the internet can't lie, right? That's illegal. So I'm planning on doing wet blending on it. I don't know how well it's gonna go, Melderfrost. I want to try and use a new technique that I'm not familiar with for the blending on the horns. I have done some wet blending before with contrast paints, and that worked out pretty well, but you get some ugly drying lines sometimes if you're not doing it perfectly, and I don't really love that part. So I'm thinking about just doing it a little bit differently this time. So yeah, maybe it'll go great, I don't know. It's the plan for right now, but my plans tend to change. Does the Netherlands have any urban legend things like the Sasquatch? Yeah, we have an urban legend called the Belgian. I don't think it's real though. I don't even think that place exists. No, I don't know if we have something similar. Do we have something similar? We have Sinterklaas? Sinterklaas is real, bro. What do you mean? What do you... De Witte Wieven? Oh yeah! We do have those, I guess, but that's like very old school. We also have what is known as the Bokkenrijders. Are you guys familiar with the Bokkenrijders? Sorry, Dutch jokes. There's like 4 people that think that's funny. Sorry. Yeah, the Bokkenrijders, they live in a place called Villa Volta. Crazy stuff, dude. Texas has the Chupacabra. I thought Texas had mostly large cars and guns. They have mythical creatures too. Dit huis, dit vervloekte huis. God, I love that guy. Texas also has Sarah and Clem. Right. My favorite American pro gamers. Time to bring Neep out of retirement, guys. How about that? New multiplayer balance patch for StarCraft 2 is looking mighty good for Protoss right now. At least against Zerg. Not sure about Terran, but obviously Terran is on the Balance Council, so there's no way to know. Okay. This is just the base code, guys. Don't worry about it. It looks a little funky right now. We need to put some paint on there. Lowko will be an honorary Floridian when he attends his first annual Lowko Con. It will be in the Holiday Inn near the airport for convenience. Why would Lowko Con be in Florida? Why of all places? Because it's close to you, Nolan? Is that the reasoning? Makes perfect sense. All the good ones are in Orlando? Ah, okay. There's a lot of good conventions in Florida. I've never been to a convention in Florida. I've never been to Florida. I don't even know if Florida's real. We have a lot of Florida Mendo in the chat. Absolutely. Floridonians. We will find the flattest place in the USA and do it there. Right. That I agree with. The flatter, the better. We do have quite a few viewers in Florida, actually. Especially on YouTube. A lot of Germans. Also a lot of Germans. Guys, we were talking about mythical creatures. How do we get to Florida? Are you trying to suggest that... Okay. I know enough. I know enough. The Florida man. My favorite mythical creature. If I had to pick one, it would be the Florida man. Connect the dots. Florida is basically Atlantis? Really? Can't say I'm too surprised. They should make an Age of Mythology campaign about Florida. New DLC for Age of Mythology retold. George Washington searches For the the Declaration of Independence. Bro, I'd want to play it. That sounds really fun. New main character. Was there anything in Florida during George Washington's time? Was there anything back then? Because Florida is hot as shit, right? It's very warm. Did anything happen in like any of the hot states before the invention of air conditioning? Swamps and crocodiles? It's pretty much the same as right now. Right. But they're better at handling the heat. Well, crocodiles, alligators, scary, snappy thingies in the water is what we like to call them. Next thing you're gonna tell me there's a difference between dolphins and whales. It's much nicer here during the summer than 400 miles north. It never gets as hot here as it did in Nashville. Yeah, there are like little pockets, I guess, right? Where like shit is nice. To be fair, the Netherlands is also historically one of the worst areas on the planet to live because this place would flood all the time and like, you know, it's basically a giant swamp. Humans can be very stubborn. Like, why in the world did my ancestors settle over here? Seriously, you can go anywhere, bro. Now, obviously they didn't know that. That's a bit of a problem. You don't really have a lot of perspective, I guess. A couple thousand years ago, but still. Humans can live through a lot of bullshit, I guess. Or not. But anyways. Could have went to Florida, but they goofed. Okay, I feel like that's one of the places that would be quite difficult to reach, Rumpus. It's a lot of walking. I do keep the box art in mind quite a bit, yes. And I also like to watch other people that have painted the same miniature as me. So for this one, I am keeping the steps mostly that Duncan Rhodes uses in his painting guide for this particular mini. I'm a big fan of Duncan Rhodes' work. I think he does awesome stuff. And while I don't really keep to the exact same color schemes, and I try to not really... You know, but I like the steps that he takes. I think knowing the steps is like the trickiest parts of mini painting. Like just thinking about what you want to be doing when. It sounds so easy, but it's quite tricky. Especially on a large model like this, it's deciding where you want to start, I guess, that can be tough. So I'm just base coating some of the horns right now. Mostly because we need to wait until some of these parts are dry. But yes. This is a Skaven mini. It is. I've never painted a Skaven before. I don't recommend you start with the biggest miniature for any army. Bad idea. But he's so cool! So I'm not testing the color scheme anywhere. A lot of people recommend you test the color scheme, especially for army painting, on like one miniature before you commit to like painting a large one or in a whole army. I'm not doing that. But a lot of people also limit themselves to using like 6 paints or whatever when they're painting an army, because they don't really want to constantly swap. I don't paint armies, so we just I can swap whatever. I can change stuff on the model if I don't like it. In general though, I tried to start brighter rather than darker these days, because we can shade stuff down really easily, but it's much harder to brighten it back up. So I think starting darker is a mistake, because you end up very dark. I had that on like, most notably like the throne of the toad that I painted recently. Slant Starbringer. I think that one turned out to be a little bit too dark overall. Especially like some of the bits on the throne. I could have done it a little bit differently, but you know, you learn. So I'm trying to do smart things these days, and that's why they're so bright. Maybe a little bit too bright, but that's the reason why. We can shade them down very easy, but shading them up is not quite the same thing, huh? Okay, I'll just use up the paint that I have on my palette. Hey, Caston!
I recommend starting with the biggest miniature available so you immediately start in debt and with a project you'll never finish.
Smart, dude. Okay, you can also do that. You can also do that. I don't know if it's actually a good idea, but you can if you want to. Thank you, Caston. Let me hit him with the blow dryer real quick, guys. I am gonna mute my mic this time around, because I'll be nice. Thank you, Caston. All right. It's what I've been doing for years, Lowko. Can recommend. Yeah? You like to guilt trip yourself into never finishing a project? That's nice. You always wanted to get a Skaven army for Warhammer, but then you saw the prices and you didn't want to anymore? Huh. Painting some dank Space Marines. The price tag doesn't sound very nice. Are we in the daily discussion again where we discuss the prices of Warhammer miniatures, chat? Is that where we have arrived? This always comes up at least once a miniature painting stream. It's always something that needs to be discussed. What's up, Mugetsu? Let me move this out of the way. We're gonna do a tiny little bit of dry brushing before we switch to some gaming. I'm gonna try and take this little texture palette. I've not really used it before, but we can give it a shot. Supposedly this is nice for dry brushing. I should just schedule a pricing discussion. Bro, it happens literally every single painting stream I do though. There's always a moment of discussing how much Warhammer miniatures cost. It's okay. There's always that moment. You have a lot of Knights and Titans, which aren't even close to done. You also do have some that are finished though? Okay. See? Always look on the bright side. Let's see. What sort of colors do we want to use for the highlights? I think I'll leave these. Yeah, we're gonna do some ancient stone first. I should shake this a little bit better. The pricing of Warhammer is like talking about the weather. Right. Yeah, painting Warhammer minis, having hobbies does take a little bit of money usually, chat. It is what it is. Oh my god, I just almost threw it through the room. It's no real different than buying video games. I would say Warhammer minis are a little bit more expensive than video games, but yeah. Okay. So this is going to be highlighting some of the sections back up. Specifically the raised areas. So I want to be quite circular here. So the brush only catches the lightest areas that need to be painted. So this is obviously also going to catch a lot of the other stuff, which is why we want to like kind of paint from the outside or from the inside outside. Tends to help. I mean, to be fair, if you want to have like a gaming computer and stuff, it gets very expensive too, right? If you spent like $2 on a gaming PC, which is pretty easy to do, you could be painting for years. Yeah, that's true, Nolan. Although that's very old school though, I don't think anybody really talks about it. I think if you were to ask my nieces and nephews, they don't really know about those stories. Okay. So we're trying to set the shades that we did earlier mostly into the recessed areas here, which I think is happening, which is good. You spend 2K on Warhammer minis a year? Kasten is Games Workshop's favorite customer. He gets greeted with open arms. When he goes to the website, they're like, "Hey, Kasten, you're back! How nice to see you!" Not just Warhammer? Fair, dude. I don't know, man. There's a lot of folks that will shame you for spending money on hobbies, which is just... I see people spending money on things I don't give a shit about all the time, right? Like, I don't know. I don't really care, man. I think I want to make relatively, like, yellowy fingers. On the box art, he's got very, like, tobacco-stained looking fingers. I think I want to do something similar, too. I don't know, dude. Like, for example, I see a lot of people that go out every weekend and that spend a ton of money on alcohol and whatever. I don't care about that. Like, it's just not my jam. I'm sure a lot of those folks would be like, "Oh my god, you spent money on plastic in a cardboard box? That's so cringe, bro." And in the meantime, they spend like an easy $50 every weekend, right? Like maybe 100, I don't know. It gets expensive fast, bro. If you go out to party every weekend, it gets pretty pricey, right? Like there's a lot of things people will spend money on that isn't really considered. Because it's not part of the hobby budget, right? Like nobody really budgets going out as part of a hobby budget. It's not really a thing. I don't drink, I don't really, no, I don't really do any of that shit. I'm boring. I like circular highlights like that a ton, dude. This is turning out really nice here on these flat muscle areas. I don't know if you can see that properly, but it's really nice to, if you do this gently enough, you can get some really good looking highlights. Very easy. Good technique. Knowing how to dry brush is actually a banger of a technique. Look at that. Hell yeah. I have a needs and a wants budget. My no. Subscribing to my stream is definitely in the needs budget, right? I would imagine you budget that above rent, above food, above, you know, anything else. Right? Right? I was talking to somebody this morning at the gym about motorcycles. I don't know how much motorcycles cost yearly, but I can guarantee you it's more money than miniature painting. I feel like that's quite a hobby too, man. There's a lot of things you can spend money on, guys. You live strangely frugally in some ways and vastly opulent in others. There's this mindset actually from this guy. What's his name? He wrote a book called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. I will teach you. Ramit Sethi. Yes, that's it. And that's basically exactly his mindset that he outlines in the book. Now, I don't really agree with all of it. I think some of it is actually pretty bad behavior. But the TLDR of his book, which I read years ago, is that he recommends you spend money on things you like and not money on things you don't like. Which sounds very obvious. There's a lot of money that gets spent on things that don't really matter too much, and you're mostly just doing it to like keep up with other people or whatever. That guy can be very obnoxious, absolutely. So definitely don't take his word for gospel, but it's, I mean, I think the mindset, the idea is pretty good. Yeah, he says to basically cut mercilessly on things you don't give a shit about, and then to spend more on things you do care about, which is incredibly obvious. But it's not what most of us do, right? It's difficult to do, man. Well, I mean, there's a lot of folks out there, Light Switch, that will spend a lot of money on things like clothes, right? You can spend a lot of money on clothes very easy. He's got some wounds on his back. I don't know exactly what they are supposed to be, but these are holes in his skin on the back. And there's like a little bit of a carving of some runes there, yes. Look, when you run out of space, you gotta do it somewhere. How else are you gonna be able to be a proper prophet, you know? This is a much brighter color. Not much, a little bit brighter. But I've said it before and I will say it again, I do think if you're into miniature painting, it is one of the easiest type of gift to ask for on your birthday. Christmas, whatever, anniversaries, wherever you want to go, dude. I never have anything to ask for, but Warhammer minis are kind of perfect. You'll never say no to socks? Fair. But Warhammer does perfectly solve the issue a lot of guys run into, I've found. Where they have no idea what to ask for their birthdays. Or any sort of, you know. That is a big advantage, dude. I have a never-ending wish list for Warhammer minis now. No, not only Warhammer, some other stuff too. Like all my annual OnlyFans subscriptions, those sort of things, Gorky. That's the best birthday gift. Yeah, yeah. Okay, a little bit on his face, just a tiny amount. I mean, considering the amount of time we spend on this, we're getting there. I will have to fix some of these things up. Like, for example, that right over there. What is this? That's bad. It looks better from the other side. My favorite part, I guess, so far is the back. I feel like the back looks looks good. Pretty happy with this. So next time around, I think what I'll do, we're gonna wrap it up here. Got more games to play, dude. But I think next time around what I'll do is I'll paint in all of the furry skin. So he's got a lot of like say for example, all of this like dark brown color, and the same for like that beard and like all of the, he's got a lot of drapey bits on his skin all over. We'll be painting all of those in a dark color. Like a dark brown, or not a dark brown, but like a brownish brown. And I will have to make sure that that is blended together reasonably well. I will have to do some manual highlighting too. I want to create those gross looking fingers. We'll have to do some feathering. I want to create like tobacco stained looking fingertips, I think. That's what he does have on the box art, and I think it looks cool. So we'll have to do some grossness for that too, but I mean, overall, the inside and hand and stuff, like all of that was really quick and very easy. Not bad. Okay, you get to chill over here. You get to dry. Go ahead. Gamers, we are gonna continue today with the Horned Rat. Well, the Prophet of the Horned Rat. Last stream, yester stream, let me actually pop this light on. I got started with painting, and we did most of the base layer of the skin. So we did the face, the very first coats on the face. We did this leg right over here. That one's a little, a little ugly, right over here on the far side, like on the right side over there. We gotta fix that up. We did this arm, which I think looks decent, but not great. I'm happy with the back. I think so far the back is looking pretty nice. We got some smooth gradients over on the skin. We have this arm over here as well. Yeah, honestly, it's getting there. It's coming along, it's coming along. We'll continue onwards with it today and we'll see how far we can go. The skin looks nice and rotten. That's what we're going for. We're gonna add some more details though. We're gonna add some more to it. I actually went out and I got a new bottle of paint, chat. I know. I needed like a very pale, tanny colored brown and I didn't have it. Now I could mix it, but I could also not mix it and have it in a bottle instead. So, I got this one, which is gonna be the base coat for all of the furry skin. Rise up, furries. The furry skin. The furry skin on all of the guy. So he has like a beard, but there's also all of these like, all of these other things. You know, like there's lots of little details, like a little bit of fuzz over here on the leg. We have a bunch of it. So that's the plan. That's where we're gonna be starting it, or that's where we're gonna continue with it today. I'm gonna do maybe an hour or two of painting. I don't wanna get too carried away today, because we have a lot of games to go over too, man, but I wanted to do some painting too, because, you know, much like the StarCraft ladder, we gotta be putting in our practice. We gotta make sure we keep going. Keep the ball rolling, you know? I feel like we kind of have a nice little practice routine right now, and I feel like I should, you know, continue doing it. What's going on, Vizzik? Are you excited? I think we're gonna do some paratrooper all over, paratrooper 10, that is like a 10 color over all of the dark fur, and then we'll go from there. I do have to moisten my palette. My palette is dry. You will be royally jet-lagged. Your long flight is from Doha to Chicago. You're flying to the opposite end of the world. Casual 16 hours. You love to hear it, huh? I'm just putting a little bit of water all over the little sponge underneath. Trying to be careful going around the outside. This will keep the paint a little bit more moist. And moisture is what we need, chat, in order to keep the paint workable. Okay. You won't be booking it until 7 hours prior to departure? A 16.5, wait, what? You won't be booking it? Wait, you haven't booked the flight yet? Your 16.5-hour flight isn't yet booked? For tomorrow? You like to live dangerously, sir. Is this flight a very frequent one? If it's one of those flights that happens all the time, I guess it's okay if it gets delayed, but I would not be that ambitious. What's good on Phantom Anubis? My ear is doing pretty good, can't complain. Okay, so this is going to be on all the dark, hairy bits. We'll do some manual highlighting on all of the rest of the skin as well, but we'll start by blocking in the dark hair. There's actually an actual hair in the... Ah, shit. There's an actual hair over here. One sec, I need to go find my... I think Lauren... Oh no, Lauren did not take him. Sick, dude. There's an actual brush hair for my dry brush, I think. Essentially, you have to rely on a military flight to get from your current location to the capital, but we won't want to book a what? Okay. I see. So what if it's booked out? Like, what if it's fully booked? What's up, Kasi Jun? Thank you very much. They never are fully booked? Ah, okay. Okay, got him. Thank you, Kazi Jun, for the 33 months. I think we actually want to dilute this a little bit more. We want to have a... pretty inky consistency here. Some of the hair is going to be a little bit sketchy to paint in, but... What color do we make the beard, guys? I'm thinking a dark brown, fading into like a black. That's a really horny rat, Lowko. Yeah, he's got quite a few horns. He's a horned rat. What's up, Lena? I think that's supposed to be a vein red over there. So I'm not going to be painting it in, even though it's got a similar texture to the actual hair. You're not a rat? Just very horned. Interesting. Well, that's Satan worshipping, huh? Or Santa worshipping? Whichever of the two. I should make the beard green? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is why I never ask Twitch chat for actual advice. I'm kidding, I just pretend I do. Wait, no, I actually do sometimes. Maybe. Now we are going to do some green details. So this guy actually has little bits of, I think it's called warpstone, all over his fur. And I do want to... I do want to add little touches of green. Some of the little rats also actually carry this color, this warpstone stuff. So they're going to also be colored in green. But that's not gonna be until one of the final steps. Like that is like one of the final things we'll be doing. That's like very detailed highlights and tiny little bits here and there. Warpstone is, yeah, I don't really know what warpstone is. Is this like an addiction that the Skaven have, or like is this something they require? Are they like what is the deal with warpstone? Does anybody know? Because this guy has like, I don't know if you can see it properly, but that's like little like rocks, for example, right over there, and there's like little bits all over him. It's like a warp drug? Okay. An immaterial drug? I don't even know what that means. They use it to power a lot of their weapons? Ah, okay, gotcha. So it is both an addiction as well as a feature? It's from meteors? The more you have, the better? Okay. Yeah, this guy has a bunch of it all over his gear, and then the little rats also carry some of it, and we may come across some more in like the staff or something at a later time. I'm not sure, but I guess it's like in the tabletop, it's like a gameplay mechanic for them. It's something they build up or something. Oh my god, we have music with lyrics? Oh no, Chad, how do we feel about lyrics? Paradise. I will be yours, you will be mine. Don't go. Beautiful, man. Can you feel the love, chat? Mouth noises, humans with their orifices making sound. I found a new playlist though that I really do like. Woo! It's a good color actually, I like this color. It's more of a flavor for their technology. Okay, so do any of the other Age of Sigmar guys use Warpstone? This is not in 40k or anything else, right? This is specifically Age of Sigmar, and it's only the Skaven? Okay. And this is specifically because of their god, right? So they have a god called the Horned Rat. That is one of the gods that does not exist in Warhammer 40,000. And I'm assuming he's the reason they have this power? Because, I mean, he's called the Horned Rat, and this guy is its prophet. So I'm assuming that is one of the reasons they have it. Dude, we went to see a comedian yesterday. He's a young guy from the Netherlands. Very funny. Very funny. Wouldn't be surprised if he blows up one day. Like, this guy is relatively new to the whole comedy thing. It's all in Dutch, so I can't really show you any videos. But if you're Dutch, I can recommend Sesjin. Sesjin Gulik. It was funny as hell. Most of the comedy shows I've been to are all in like these, you know, these well-known comics. So these very large, you know, events. This guy is very much so up and coming. So there were maybe like 100 seats. But it was fun. It was very good. That fake god happens to be Nurgle if the rumors are believed? Oh, really? Yeah, so that's actually what happened, Diaboli. I saw this guy as the opening act for Patrick, there you go, Laurier. Laurier? I think that's his name. Anyways, he's a well-known comedian in the Netherlands. And this guy was like the opening act when I went to see them maybe a year or so ago. I was like, holy shit, this guy's fucking funny. And I found he had his own show, like tryouts going around as of recently. So this is like his first time doing a solo tour. I think he's like 24, 25 maybe, like years old. I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and support this man because he seemed really funny. And I can imagine it's really tough to, you know, like imagine starting up a solo tour for the very first time and you're like, you know, you don't really know who's gonna come and if anybody's gonna come. This was a tiny venue, but it was sold out, so that was kind of fun. That was sick. He's so old. Yeah, is that old? 24, 25? The majority of my viewers are like 34-year-old men, Lena. They're basically ancient compared to 25 years old. You're 29. You're 33. Well, I mean, you know, we can average it out over time, you know? Okay. I think for a base coat, this is looking good. I'm being very cautious with this, by the way. Don't really want to smear it on. We are in no rush. What do you guys think for the color of the fur in the end? Like, do we want like a brown, like a dark brown, or like a dark gray? With like a little bit of a color through it too. I'm not 100% sold on brown. I'm thinking brown probably looks the best, but... I mean, this base color can work for both. We can go with whatever... Oh, I haven't heard of that one, Shiny. Brown? You think brown is better? Okay. Yeah, I think brown is probably best. I think on some of the longer hair, I may do like a little bit of a fade. A fade to black. Especially on the beard. But maybe some of the longer fur around the body as well. Ba-da-ba-ba. Okay. Any more hairy bits? A couple over here. It's got a furry calf. So you have to be carefully running the brush over there. Okay. I see, I see. Well, I'll remember the name. If I ever see one close by, shiny, I will have a look. Okay. Let's do, I don't know. The other leg is hidden, so we only have one leg. I guess technically this is the leg, but well, I mean, it's something. I'm assuming it's that bulge underneath his skirt. I'm assuming it's a leg anyways. It's actually really nicely sculpted. There's a lot of tiny little bits that are going to be quite difficult to reach, on the chest in particular. So I guess we'll try and get some of this in. The shows are mostly themed around autism and personal struggles. Okay. I don't have autism myself, but I do play RuneScape. There's no way to know. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of people openly talking about autism recently. Like over the last couple of years. It's pretty cool. I feel like people were a lot more hush-hush about it when I was younger.